All right, this is our video for Wednesday, April 22nd for the AP Algebra 2. Our objective today is to review writing equations. So on Monday, we talked about functions and function notation. Yesterday, we talked about slope and graphing linear equations. Today, I guess I should be more specific. It's going to be about writing linear equations. And tomorrow we're going to look at applications of linear equations, and on Friday, ACT style quiz. Now, back when we did this in probably September, a lot of you guys struggled with this piece right here. And again, this is on the ACT, and it is used in calculus all the time, believe it or not. When they want you to write linear equations, we are going to use the point-slope formula. And as we talked about back in September, this equation is a variation of the slope formula. They took the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and they multiplied the denominator over to the other side, so they have the x's multiplied by the m and the y's left on the side by themselves, and then they changed a little bit of the subscript. So again, we're not very creative in algebra, and the reason this is called point-slope formula is because you have a point, x sub 1, y sub 1, and you have the slope of your line. And if you have those two things, you can write the equation of that line. So if they tell us that the slope of a line is 5, 6, and that a point on the graph is the line a point on the line is 6, 1. So we have our slope and we have our point. So I'm going to take the point-slope formula and I'm going to substitute in, and this would be y minus 1 equals 5, 6, x minus 6. This is x sub 1, this is y sub 1, and we have our slope of 5, 6. Now, if you leave it like this, this is called point-slope form. And if you're in calculus, I let you do that, but we're not in calculus. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get ours into slope intercept so we could graph it if we needed to. So to do that, you just do the algebra. We're going to distribute the 5, 6. So we're going to have 5, 6x minus, and when you take 5, 6 times 6, the 6 cancels out, and that leaves the 5. We worked on that in chapter 9. And then we want to get the y completely by itself, so we're going to add 1 over. And so our slope intercept form would be y equals 5, 6x minus 4. And so I want you to take your answers to slope intercept form. Now the directions on the worksheet are going to say point slope, or they're going to say standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. I want you to go to slope intercept form so you could graph it if you needed to. So you're going to be given the slope and a point, or maybe you're going to be given a graph and you can pick out the slope in any point. And again, this works for any point on the equation. You're also going to have some problems where they give you 2 points. So let's say they give you negative 4, 10 and negative 6, 15. And the directions will say write the equation. So we want to use the point slope, but we don't know the slope. So we have to go back as we reviewed yesterday, and we have to find the slope first. And I'm going to say 15 minus 10 over negative 6 minus negative 4. So I did do the y2 minus y1 over the x2 minus x1. So we would have 5 over negative 2. So our slope is negative 5 halves. And we're going to use our formula, our point slope form. And you can use either point. It does not matter. They're both on the same line, and they have the same slope. That line has the same slope everywhere. I'm going to use the negative 4, 10. So I'm going to put the 10 for the y1, the negative 5 halves for m, and negative 4 for the x sub 1. So I'm going to have y minus 10. I'm going to make that a positive 4. When I distribute, I'm going to have negative 5 halves x. When I take negative 5 halves and I distribute it to the 4, I'm going to get negative 10. And then when I add the 10 over to get the y by itself, I end up with negative 5 halves x. And again, I want you to take it to slope-intercept point. And so today it's just a review of writing equations. Again, sometimes they're going to give you the slope and a point. Sometimes they're going to give you 2 points. Sometimes they're going to give you a graph. And from that graph, you can get the points and the slope. So on the same worksheet that you had yesterday, that practice 2.2 worksheet, I want you to go back and do 9 through 11, 15 through 17, 22, and 23. So those will be the problems for you to work today.